Welcome to the show. I am your host, Daniel, and today is one of the most laid back judges, I think, in the history of this channel. Judge Jeffrey Middleton. So let's get started doing this. I'll share my screen, make this bigger, and
listening to County Crows do Joni Mitchell on the drive-in. Sticks in your head. Jeanette Jackson is here with us today. We've got a number of arraignments and pre-trials. Also have pre-exam conferences. And this is the odd numbered Tuesday of the month, so we have sobriety court this afternoon. So we have a busy day. Oh gosh, I didn't know we had an AG case. We have a lot going on. We have a number of felony pre-exam conferences, some show causes. We have an attorney general representative that's entered the waiting room. We also are going to need some interpreters. So it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. What's your name, ma'am?
Sunny Musselman. You might have under Sunny Valzay though.
I got it.
This is why
Musselman?
Yes.
M.
Musselman.
Thanks. I'm gonna let this run for just a minute. It does feel like we're just back to work. Vacation time is over. Good morning, sir. Mr. George or Mr. Reed aren't available today. We've got some Three Rivers and Sturgis pre-trials. Mr. George had let us know that last week. So Jeanette, they're gonna just send all the pre-trials in here also. So we're gonna have a lot to do before we even get to our felony cases.
Right.
Oh, I see you do. And you don't know what you're doing. Let's go. Mr. Poole's a show cause. All right, guess. Hello from Canada. Please take your wildfire smoke back. We don't like it. All right, good morning. And I went for my have something removed from my hand. I went to the appointment and they said, you need to have surgery to have this removed. I said, I thought that's why I was here. Apparently it wasn't. I was there for them to tell me I needed surgery to have it removed. So I didn't get it accomplished. So that'll be scheduled. All right, let's bring Miss Brenner in. I'm going to start the record. But one of them doesn't appear to be your case. So I'm going to have to do a separate little search for it. It's under Musselman. I was looking for Balazay. All right, you got charged. I don't know why it says Balazay, because it's Sonny Michelle Musselman. It's alleged that in March that you did give false information regarding domestic violence to Chief William Burgoyne of the White Pigeon Police Department, commonly known as false report of a misdemeanor, which is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. The allegation is that you made some sort of allegation of domestic violence that later was either, recanted. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty,
All right, would you like me to appoint an attorney for you?
please.
This happens a lot in domestic violence cases. There's an allegation of domestic violence, which is later recanted. So both stories can't be true. Either
I
there
don't know
was an
what I lied
assault-
about. I really don't. I'm really confused on why I'm even here.
All right, well, it
Okay.
says that you told the police that pretrial hearing, Sonny told the court that Andrew did not grab her or shake her. You told Chief Burgoyne that he assaulted you in January, shoved you and shook her during an argument about infidelity by him, and he got arrested. Then you were in court in front of Judge Pattison on March 20th, and they got the transcripts of the court hearing, and you testified in court that he did not grab you or shake you. And you said you were high on methamphetamine and you fell back onto the window. So the prosecutor reviewed those and they watched the video of what you told Chief Burgoyne. And then they looked at the transcript of what you told Judge Pattison. One of them isn't true. So you're left with either a false report of a misdemeanor or perjury, which is often what happens when somebody recants on a domestic violence. So we'll see, but I'll show now that you're pleading not guilty.
Your Honor,
Yes?
I don't know if I heard you correctly, but I thought you said the file number was 1145. It's actually 1146.
1146, yes.
I just want to make sure that you got
All
that.
right, thank you.
Okay.
Maybe a vision problem rather than a misstatement problem. We have not guilty. You'll appoint an attorney and set an attorney pretrial for the first Friday of September, which will be 9/5. Are you missing work right now?
Yes, I'm in payroll, so, and then today's my deposit day, so
All
I'm
right, well-
stressing on time.
All right, I'll get you back out there. You go out to the counter and they'll give you the lawyer's name and number. Did
Okay.
you get fingerprinted today?
No, they're gonna do that.
All right. All right, you go out to the counter. They'll do your fingerprints. They'll give you your attorney's name and number. I want you to call the attorney and make an appointment, discuss this with them. As I indicated, there's a body camera video of what you told the officer, and there's a transcript of what you told the judge. So your lawyer will want to get that information
Okay.
and discuss it with you and see how they want to proceed here.
Okay,
All right, you're
all
good to
right,
go.
thank you.
Mr. Poole?
Never ever sue the other driver.
No, I'm not sure what's up. There it is. But apparently a lot of people didn't show up. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Poole, the original charge in this file was 2251016. ST was driving suspended. You had an unpaid ticket. You also had some Indiana issues.
Yes, sir.
We set this for July 10th at 8:30. You were gonna pay the old ticket. And then you didn't show up on July 10th. So rather than do a bench warrant, I did a show cause to find out why you didn't show up on July 10th.
Well, I just got my wires crossed. Kind of forgot. Been busy with my mom and dad. They're both not doing the greatest. So,
Well, have you paid your old ticket?
yes, sir.
Unfortunately, the prosecutor isn't here.
And also contacted Indiana with the arrest or the officer that pulled over my twin. And left messages. Been trying to get back with him so I can see what happened there, but I still haven't gotten anything yet. It's been about 2 weeks now.
So you paid your St. Joe County ticket.
Yes, sir.
Still working on the Indiana case.
Yeah, I'm trying.
What's your twin's name? Nathaniel?
Yes.
That's not a very good thing to do to your brother.
No, it's been ongoing since we were about 18, 17.
I had a case once with some girls that I knew. They used to babysit for me. One girl said she was her sister, and the mail came for the sister not appearing, and she hid the mail. Her sister got arrested and went to jail for a charge that her sister did. Eventually, we sorted it out, but that girl owes her sister a day in jail.
Yeah, I'm all too familiar with that.
Unfortunately, the city attorney isn't here today. He was here on July 10th. And you were supposed to be here, and I didn't want to go through the rigmarole of arresting you. So are you still at 9th Street?
Yes, sir.
Are you still working on the Indiana thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna call him actually when I get out of work today at 3 o'clock.
Are you missing work right now?
Yeah, I had to leave to come here.
All right, let me get you back to work. I'm gonna reset this. 2 weeks for pretrial with TR. No, this is a county case. All right, we'll reset it, see if you can take care of the Indiana thing. I think the prosecutor didn't give you some consideration. We'll set this for Thursday, August 21st, and I'll be gone that day. Thursday, August 28th. Bring whatever you get from Indiana.
My body
All right, you can get back to work and let's see if we can get more information. All right, you're good to go. There's no bench warrant, but try to show up on the right day.
Will do.
I didn't want
Sorry
to do a
about
warrant.
that. Thank you.
All right, you're good to go. We have both felony pre-exams, orders to show cause, and pre-trials and arraignments. So there's a lot of different categories of people. I don't see David Havens, but he's not set till 8:30. Lindsay Miller. That's 8:45, so some of those people aren't late yet. All right, I've got a bunch of arraignments, and I don't know if I got any of the people.
I'll get your sheet.
Kevin Beebe, Betty Bell. Remember Betty Bell?
I don't know, it's something that's familiar,
Yeah, you dealt with her back in the
way
day.
back in the way back. I think.
She was married to my classmate, Franklin Delano Roosevelt White Jr. Seth Carr. We're not doing too well. Send Michelle out to round everybody up. Troy German. Boy. Jennifer Shoemaker. Maybe it's too much of a nice day or Canadian wildfire smoke or something. Teresa Standish. Wow, all those people are failed to appear. Well, we'll set those aside and we'll have Michelle go out and round them up.
Do you want me to wait around a little bit?
Yes, please,
Yeah.
if you would. Let's talk about our pre-trials.
I will be back in a few minutes.
Do you have Trey Hensley in the back?
Yes, sir.
Cheryl Kalu is not back there, is she?
I believe that's the other one.
Arpana?
I'm sorry. I had him talking to.
Okay, Arpana, Cheryl Kalu.
Yes, that's the one I
Why
have.
don't you bring her in?
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Gibson.
Good morning.
I've got Sarah Brenner from the Attorney General's office in the waiting room. Would you like to confer with her?
Yes.
Laura, would you open up the Zoom room so I can have Mr. Gibson confer with the Attorney General regarding Mr. McGann or Mr. Higgins? Mr. Higgins, you owe me some money. We're going to talk about that too. You got a number of unpaid tickets and other things we'll address. All right. Let's see about our other pre-trials. Good morning.
Just a second.
I lost track of you.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether you were in custody or not. Judge Pattison was handling your stuff. We've got two old Three River City cases. File 24835OM is a disorderly person charge from May of 2024. File 24952 is an old disorderly person charge from September, or also May of 2024. One was May 11th, one was May 30th. The city attorney, Mr. Tim George, says he would dismiss one charge for a plea to the other. You were in jail for 15 days and then you were out. And I'm not clear, what, are you in jail on a Kalamazoo charge?
No, they just ran my name, and saw that I had open a warrant, so they brought me down here on the 27th, but I've been living homeless in Kalamazoo since basically June of last year.
I knew that, and I felt bad about it. I do. Did you lose your house?
Yeah, after I got out of jail last year, I mean, I hadn't been able to find a job in town since like January, since I quit American Axle. I don't know what is going on in Three Rivers, but sometimes I was too overqualified and sometimes it's just being an outsider in this town. I couldn't even get a job as a waitress at Mr. B's Dairy Bar. Like, I don't know what was going on.
Well, it shows here 101 days of jail credit. How long have you been in jail here in Centerville?
Since last year, I'm not sure.
When did
3
you,
weeks last year.
when did you most recently get picked up?
It was for the open warrant from last year for skipping out on probation.
All right, okay. And so you've been in jail now since
Just a week and a half since, not this past Saturday.
July 27th.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 4 days in July and 5 days in August. That's 9
No.
days.
July, I didn't do any time. I was in on March 31st till April 16th.
All right, and then, yeah, Judge Pattison gave you 15 days. Then when did you most recently get arrested?
Just now, a week and a half ago.
Okay. So that's 9 days. I'm gonna give you credit for time served. If you plead to one of these, I'll dismiss the other one on motion of the city attorney. Are you willing to do that?
Yes.
All right, well, let's take a look at these. I'm not sure if they're in my queue.
All right, you got to stop buying generic Viagra.
Did you ever figure out the estate stuff?
My uncle ended up buying the house on auction for barely anything and has not helped me in any way whatsoever. So he's known. I mean, they reported me missing October last year.
I've been looking for you I might have been one of the people that reported you missing way back when you went off the grid. And then I found that you were homeless and in one shelter or another in Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
And I was not.
There's more help for people over there than there is down here.
And there is. Now, my other thought is that you had some inheritance somewhere, either here or India, that was.
India, but with the felony charge, I don't know what I can really do.
All right, well, let's take care of these. I hate to even see you like this.
The inheritance is not much. I actually told my dad's sister to take it.
All right,
So,
so basically you're back at ground zero.
yes.
No family
I'm 40
support.
years old.
Yes, you're a very intelligent woman. How are you doing with your alcohol issues?
It's been rough. Not that I'm back on and I can't survive without it, but just it's stressful being homeless and the situations that arise on a daily. And it's only until recently that I decided that I would stay in Kalamazoo. So for the past year, I've just been in limbo, trying to decide if I want to stay here or go be closer to family. But I have a lot of loose ends to tie up here. Plus, there's some good colleges. So still haven't figured it out. Western, U of M, or Michigan State. I'm thinking Western.
Okay.
Well, I knew you'd be happy about me going back to school and getting a nice degree. Maybe with Stryker.
Well, it's good to have some goals. At 2:45 a.m. on April 11th, Main Street.
Yeah. I was
You
going to
got
buy
arrested.
cigarettes.
Do you remember even what the deal was?
I was on my way to the gas station to buy cigarettes. It's not my fault that people think it's weird in this town to go buy cigarettes at 2:45 in the morning. I lived in big cities. I didn't have a car. I was walking. There's no sidewalk. I was walking on the street. It's not my fault. The city.
Well,
doesn't
your
have
blood
sidewalks.
alcohol was 0.226, so,
Yeah.
when you
I was
taken,
walking.
yes,
Was not in a vehicle. Yeah.
but you got into it with the clerk,
Yeah, she refused to sell me cigarettes. I don't know why.
probably because you were quite drunk.
Yeah, but
All
she
right, so are you willing to
accused me-
plead to that charge and I'll dismiss the other one?
Sure.
All right. Now, let me ask you a couple questions. Other than what I told you here, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No,
or threaten you?
no.
Do you understand? And this applies to everybody. By pleading to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. It will not be a trial. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Ms. Jeanette Jackson is here from the Public Defender's Office, but you could also have had an attorney appointed to represent you. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. And you have the right to be presumed innocent unless the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Understand?
Yes.
So we pled in the April 11th. Or May 11th. Now, I'm gonna let you out of jail unless there's something else holding you. Do you have a hold?
No.
Where are you gonna go?
The goal is to try to get back to Kalamazoo. I just don't know how.
Well, you'll just be standing on the steps of the jailhouse?
I'll start walking.
Do you
Maybe
need a
I'll
bus?
get there
Do you
by
need
the
a-
end of the week.
Okay, well, it's Tuesday. It gives you till Friday.
Sometimes I get distracted and then need a nap. Like, ooh, something's shining over here.
Like an octopus's guard
Or a squirrel.
or a squirrel. I don't even know what to say here, Cheryl.
I don't either. I mean, hopefully I can find a ride into town.
Well, if
And
you
then
need
try
a
to
bus
convince my
pass,
uncle.
you stop here and I'll give you one.
Yes, please. Because I'd actually been talking to Lauren from Pivotal yesterday, and I was telling her I need, because ISK is in Kalamazoo, and I've missed a couple of meetings, so they ended up kicking me out of the program, but she said they can't actually do that. So I'm trying to get back in the program so I can get like the help I need, because I like that they are about harm reduction rather than complete abstinence. Like, that's one thing I didn't appreciate about AA, is just they're very cut and dry. That's why I like smart recovery and stuff like
Well,
that.
You know my opinion. You can't
Yeah.
drink at all. You
Yeah,
got a genetic predisposition to alcoholism. You've had a lot of stress and trauma in your life and it's killing you.
yeah.
I'm gonna give you 9 days jail, credit 9 days. I'm waiving all the fines, including the mandatory $125 fine.
Thank you.
I am concerned about what you're gonna do when you're standing on the front steps of the jail.
You said walk over here and you'll give me a ride.
Well, I'll give you a bus pass. I can't give you a ride. I
Right,
could
but
probably
that
get
only
you,
goes as far as Three Rivers.
I could get you a ride to Union City, but you don't wanna go that way. All right, as long as there's nothing else holding you, you're gonna get out of jail here this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, good luck to you. I'll probably see you sometime soon, but I hope not. I hope you get situated and get in a better
Oh,
position.
no, you will hear from me because I made a list of all the things I have to do when I get out. You're at the top of the list. I have to send you an email.
All right, I'll be here for another year and a half anyway. All right, you're good to go.
You're fine.
Yeah, so gotta make you new business cards for when you retire.
Okay, I need a new business. She had designed some business cards for me one time when she was in sobriety court. I'm not sure who else I got. I lost Mr. Gibson. Let's see if we got Laura hasn't got the Zoom room opened up. I do have another guy in custody. Is Dante Wright here? Come up to the podium there. See what my note says about you. Oh, all right. Are you Dante Elijah Wright?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Wright, you're charged with retail fraud in the 3rd degree under Three Rivers City Ordinance. The way it's charged presently, it's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to $90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. The city attorney has agreed to dismiss that charge if you plead to a civil infraction. Three Rivers has an ordinance for retail fraud, which makes it also a civil infraction. Civil infraction is not a crime. It's like a speeding ticket or running a stop sign. The allegation is that you were in Walmart, where everybody is, and you stole something worth less than $200. That's alleged to be $27 worth of something, $28 worth of something, a bottle of alcohol. You'd apparently worked at Walmart previously. I have a video of this. So the city attorney would dismiss the misdemeanor charge if you plead to the civil infraction of taking a bottle of liquor worth $28. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Are you willing to do that?
What, dismiss the case and all that?
Yes, and you owe me $100.
Okay. I'll plead guilty to that. I just had a job interview here in Three Rivers at McDonald's. So this Friday they'll be getting back with me.
All right, well, this isn't a guilty because it isn't a crime. It's a civil infraction, so you'd be responsible. So this won't show up on a criminal record.
Okay.
You had all that stuff when you were a kid at the Clark
Yeah,
station.
I paid that all off, did time for it, got my own place now.
All right. Yeah, Mr. Marvin didn't know what to do with that, and I guess I don't blame him. He went the extra mile for you, kept you from going to prison. I guess it could have been a lot worse than it was. But this is a civil infraction, punishable by $100 fine. So are you willing to admit that on that day you took a bottle of alcohol?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was it?
They said it was Jack Daniels.
All right. I think they recovered it. Your own place is on 8th Street?
Yes.
All right. Did you move away from Three Rivers, or have you been here ever since?
Since I got out of trouble, I moved to Cassopolis with my mother, and then I ended up meeting a girl, and I moved with her and her family to Vandalia, and me and my girl got our own place. So we ended up back in Three Rivers. Try to stay away from Three Rivers, but
Well, you can be all right here, but don't do dumb stuff
yeah, I
like
know.
this.
I learned my lesson now.
All right, fine and cost is $100. So you're barred from Walmart.
What does barge mean, Your Honor?
But barred means you can't go in there
Okay.
for 1 year. You owe me and the city of Three Rivers $100. That's due by September 5th. You pay that in 30 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Wright, you're good to go. Paul, I'm trying to get that Zoom room opened up. I've got Sarah Brenner on standby, and the conference room is open if you're ready to talk with her.
Okay, should I go into the?
Yes, go into the conference room. Josh, we have a bunch of no-show arraignments. In fact, 80% of the people didn't show up. So I think we're about done. I'm checking to see whether we have any additional pretrials. We do have a guy in the lockup, Trey Hensley, Dante Wright, Cheryl Gann, Charles Smith, Curtis Coy. Why don't you bring in Mr. Hensley if you would? Good morning, sir. Are you Curtis David Coy?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
We've got several files here. These are all ordinance cases, a registration plate violation and file number 25228OI. No proof of insurance in 1284OI and failed to display a valid license. Mr. George sent me a message. Pleaded no ops and he would dismiss all of the other charges. No operator's license is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to, it's failed to display a valid license, so no ops in possession. That carries no points, does carry $100 fine and $125 in cost. Are you willing to plead to that charge if he dismisses everything else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, I'm
Yes.
Charles Smith in lockup.
All right, well, I guess we'll have to deal with him too. Two 201-284.
You.
All right, other than this plea agreement, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No, Your Honor.
or threaten you?
No.
This will save you several $100s in fines.
Mm-hmm.
No proof of insurance is $150 and the registration plate's $100. So on that day, were you driving in the city of Three Rivers on July 8th?
Yes.
And did you not display a valid license?
No, I did not.
All right. Age 61.
That's my father.
Who has that unpaid ticket?
That's my father, Your
All
Honor.
right, he's the one I know, and he's also the one that has the attorney pretrial. So it appears that you're not the Stephen Daniel Higgins that owes me money, it's your dad. So you're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, stay in contact with your lawyer. And the matter will be set for a status conference in circuit court.
Thank you.
Deputy Hall, it's nice to see you. I'll execute that waiver a little bit later. All right. Let me get Lori's client from the jail. And got a lot of balls in the air. Hi. I'm gonna get him by Zoom. He's Marcos Garcia. He has a $35,000 restitution that he's never paid. He has a dog at large. Hello, booking. This is Judge Middleton calling. We got a lot going on today, but could I see Marcos Garcia by Zoom? All right. Garcia. All right, thank you. Bye. Josh, thank you for your patience. I've seen Paul bop in and out. Now John's here. We'll take care of Lori's client and then we'll see what else we got. Lori, your kids have been burning the gas.
We have, Your Honor, you have no idea.
I've seen them out there till sunset.
Oh, way after sunset sometimes. I told Scott, we've been in the lake more this year than we have the last 3.
All right, well, let's figure out what we're gonna do with this guy. And then in the meantime, Michelle, if you would bring in Charles Smith.
Yes, sir.
And we'll free Janetta.
One second, you're bringing it now.
Anyway, they're pretty good.
Yeah. My youngest brother had his 3 kids. They were up this weekend, so they really have mastered the wake surfing, so it was fun.
Wake surfing is that sport that annoys everybody else on the entire lake. Makes huge waves.
We try to be very careful here.
They're good at it.
Heidi almost has her 360. She just can't stay standing.
All right, let's take a look at this guy. Sometimes it's hard to pull these up with a Spanish last name. Good morning, sir. I'll be with you in just a minute. Of course.
Need me?
No, it's not. I'm waiting on my guy from the
The
jail.
on-base program requires things to be exactly correct to get into it. And it's got a hyphen in it. It doesn't have a hyphen in it. I can get it by case number. This has a hyphen in it.
Yes, Garcia hyphen Garcia.
Marcos. I don't see anything set for next week. He has 2 pre-exams, file 710FY,
That's this one.
and then he has a new one, 251463, which also appears to be set for today.
I have it set for next week. Yeah. It's set for next week.
All right, well, let me look. 3.
This one was from April. And then the new charges, he was just arraigned on.
Pre-exam 8-5, prelim 8-12. Per MIDC, defendant will be appointed Lori Hines as the defense attorney in the other file. So they set it for today.
My notices show next week.
All right.
And I don't even have any of the police reports, discovery, anything.
Thanks. All right. Mr. Smith, you got a ticket in Sturgis for trespassing and a civil infraction of retail fraud. I think the retail fraud got defaulted. You got charged with this. You failed to appear. You also had some other stuff. I did a bench warrant and you got picked up. You've been in jail for 9 days. The recommendation is just plead to the trespass charge and a time served of 9 days in jail. Trespass under Sturgis City ordinance is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. And he recommends I give you time served, which is 9 days and the minimal allowable fine. Is that acceptable to you? You have to speak your answer. Yes? All right. Other than that, did anyone threaten you to get you to plead to this charge? Or promise you anything? All right. You don't wish to speak to me? No? All right. Let's see if we can get through this. All right. You understand that by entering this plea, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or a jury that will be no trial. Do you understand? If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. We could appoint an attorney for you. You can hire one of your own choosing. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf. You don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent unless the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Understand? Were you at the Walmart store and you had previously been told not to go back there? Or this was at 1599 East Chicago Road. I'm not sure where that is. Were you on somebody else's property without their permission? What did you do to trespass? Well, did you take some property at the Walmart store? Were you in the Walmart store? Let's see, I can figure out digital, either yes or no. On or off. It was January 15th, 2025 at 10:53 a.m. at 1599 East Chicago Road.
Trying to eat healthy.
I'm not sure what that is. All right, it's the party store on Chicago Road. Were you at the party store on Chicago Road? Party place. Were you in the parking lot there? Were you camping behind the place? Well, it's out by across from Da Vinci's. So this was in January. It was cold out. Well, if you're not going to talk to me, I'm going to send you back to the jail and let him sort it out when the prosecutor gets back. Otherwise, I was prepared to let you out of jail, but you got to tell me something. Were you someplace that they didn't want you to be?
I really don't know.
It was in January. You got a ticket. Do you remember that?
I really don't know.
Are you homeless?
I know the cop that gave me the ticket, I know that's the same cop that jumped me. I do know that.
All right. He told you not to be there?
Yeah, well, that's the same cop that jumped me, so I don't know.
All right. I think he told you not to be there and you were back there. It was January and they gave you a ticket. And you're willing to admit to trespass, and I'd rather let you out of jail.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, there's no information in this ticket. Mr. George isn't here to help me. Let me see what I can glean from scant pickings here. $10:43 in the morning. The officer was Damon Knapp.
Yeah, that's the same cop that jumped me.
All right, well, he's got a fine reputation as a police officer. He's been there for a long time. Was deputy chief at one time. It was at the party store or near the party store. Were you over there?
No,
Well, the day he gave you this ticket, where were you?
I really don't know.
Well, you must have been somewhere. He gave you the ticket. Was it outdoors or was it inside a building?
I was walking. So I really don't know.
Let's see what's in the booking form. Nothing. Arrest location, Oak Lawn Park. Oh, wait a minute. That's when you just got arrested. It doesn't tell me what it is you supposedly did. Well, anyway, you didn't show up for court. Not on probation or parole, homeless, no telephone. I believe that you had been previously told not to be there. There were people that were in a homeless encampment behind there. Are you willing to plead no contest to this for the benefit of the plea offer? All right. When you plead no contest, you don't admit what happened, but you also don't deny what happened. You allow or accept that a conviction would enter. You understand? All right, back to nodding our head. Show no contest, trespass. Where are you going to go if I let you out of jail?
I don't know.
Well, if you need a bus pass, walk up here and I'll give you one. We give you 9 days jail credit, 9 days. 0 fine. A minimum fine of $125 or 2 additional days. A long way to get from point A to point B here, but I don't need to just leave you sitting in jail on a trespass charge. If there's nothing else holding, you can get out right now if somebody would put up $125. Otherwise, you got to do 2 more days. All right, you're good to go. It looks like the retail fraud got defaulted. Maybe Mr. George would be willing to dismiss that. I'm not sure what he was doing, but it wasn't what he was supposed to be doing. Finally, after an hour and 40 minutes, we've finished the misdemeanors. Let's see where we are with our felony pre-exams. Got Mr. Bush, Mr. Gibson is here, Mr. O'Leary is here. You're good to go, Ms. Jackson. I think we finished everything.
All right, let's talk about that.
I understand all that. You missed the hearing.
She keeps the furniture. I pay her back for the furniture.
Yes.
And she's able to keep it. And
Yes, 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 yes. I don't enjoy it. You didn't show up for the hearing. I took testimony. A default entered. She's still unhappy. She wants more than this. This case has got a long, unpleasant history. Miss Mandan, would you have a seat over here? And Mr. Kloppenstein, would you have a seat over here? I was hoping this case was done, but it isn't. This is file 242120. This involved a long testimonial case about some lawn furniture that Miss Manley bought from Ashley Furniture. We had a hearing, which was set for March 10th, and nobody appeared on behalf of Ashley Furniture. And a default judgment entered at that time on behalf of Miss Manley in the amount of $1,735.42. In an attempt to collect on that, then there was a motion to set aside the default, which I declined to grant. And so the motion, the judgment stands. And that was on April. In order to set aside a default, in fact, it's not even exactly clear whether you can even do it in small claims court, but I had a hearing. You have to show a legitimate defense and good cause for not appearing. I didn't find any good cause for not appearing. So the plaintiff then did a subpoena to discover the ability to pay on this debt, and nobody appeared from Ashley Furniture for that. So we set a show cause hearing regarding this. So, Mr. Kloppenstein, thank you for being here. Ms. Manley, you as well. Mr. Kloppenstein, will you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
You so far have got about $10 zillion worth of bad publicity out of this case. I found on her behalf by default in the amount of $1,669.17, $62.28 for a total of $1,735.42. She wanted to add some other items, but they weren't part of the original complaint, so I wouldn't allow them to be added. You moved to set it aside. I denied the motion to set it aside. She did a subpoena to collect. She wants her money. You may feel that she was already made whole. She got the furniture returned plus other stuff, but this judgment entered by default. So the ship has sailed. You owe that amount of money. Do you have the ability to pay that?
Your Honor, we did switch out the piece for her.
I got it. I got it.
Okay, okay.
But then the lawsuit was still going. You didn't show up, so a default entered on her behalf. You had a motion to set aside the defense, the default. You may have had a meritorious defense, but you didn't show up for the hearing. And I had a hearing to find out why, and there wasn't good cause other than, I guess they forgot. So, yes.
Your Honor, I was out of the country. I did not know about it, but we thought it was made whole by exchanging the piece.
I understand.
We thought it was made whole.
It wasn't. And I didn't like entering the default. I thought she got paid twice. I thought she got made whole, plus she got $1,600.
Yeah.
But you got notice, there was a hearing, she was here, nobody showed up, and a default entered. So yes, you got arguably double dipped, but you owe this money because you didn't show up. We're not going to revisit your defense. You weren't here to raise your defense. Then I had a hearing to set aside the default, which I'm not even sure I can do in small claims court. And I didn't set it aside. Now she wants her money. And then there was a subpoena and you didn't show up for that. I'm going to determine when that was. That was, we did move it.
You moved it, yeah.
You were to be here on 9/29. Oh, yeah, we moved it to this date.
Yes.
Not sure why this is a show cause. Just failed to pay, failed to appear for the motion, but I don't remember a subpoena for discovery. It's in order to show cause why you should not be in contempt, but I don't see that you missed anything to be in contempt.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I had to pay the St. Joe County of Mishawaka to have Ashley's Furniture served.
I'm trying to figure out what date that was. I'm looking and it's not in the paper file in front of me.
And then he didn't show up.
Yes, I'm trying to determine what date that was.
I filed, oh, wait, let me make sure.
Here's the subpoena. Subpoena was for him to appear on August 11th. And he did not appear. That's why you're in contempt. You got served the problem is you're too busy. You don't show up for stuff. So
I'm also out of Fort Wayne, not, or we have a store in Mishawaka, but
yes,
maybe that's what was served. I am out of Fort Wayne.
let's see where the proof of service is. Picked up the plaintiff personally served on the defendant. Service of subpoena. It was served allegedly by a sheriff's deputy for St. Joseph County, which would be South Bend. Cost her $88 additional. Well, they served it on Ashley Furniture, Grape Road, Mishawaka, Indiana is where they served it, which is St. Joe County. So they served the business, not you. All right, at any rate, the judgment stands, whether it's fair or unfair, it does. So she wants, it was for a discovery hearing, for you to come here, for me to put you under oath so she could ask questions to you about your ability to pay on this debt. Now, you're not an attorney, and I don't hold you to that standard, and neither is she. We're in small claims court, and the rules are more relaxed, but they still are the rules of civil procedure. The hearing you failed to appear for on March 10th, I placed Ms. Manley under oath on March 10th and asked her some questions. And she still wanted her $1,699. Failed to appear for this hearing, which was noticed for that day. Then I had a second hearing regarding the request to set the default aside, and I denied it. So you owe her $1,735.42. And she's here because she wants her money, plus 88 additional dollars for the additional service.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes.
Yeah, that the piece that the court had ordered us to replace, we did. We replaced it and everything.
I understand all that. You missed the hearing. So you want to raise your defense that you failed to show up for and raise the defense. So I was compelled to issue a default judgment. So you dropped the ball to the extent that it's cost you $1,735.42. I understand that you have some defenses you wish to raise. And I didn't enjoy entering this default judgment on March 10th, but you didn't show up. And then I had a hearing regarding why you didn't show up, and I didn't find good cause to find out why you didn't show up. So the ship sailed. You owe this money. Do you want to pay it, or do you want to get another $10,000 worth of bad publicity? $1,735.42 plus 88.
Do I not get the furniture back, Your Honor?
No.
So she gets the furniture?
Yes, she gets a double dip because of your failure to appear for the hearing, which is what stopped. You prevailed. I took testimony. She was unhappy with what she got. She wanted to sue for even more. Ms. Manlin, do you have any other expenses other than the $88 service fee
just my loss of wages for all of my work missed.
That's not recoverable in
Then
small
the
claims.
notes-
Was there a filing fee for the subpoena or anything?
Just what I had on the paper already.
All right. $1,823.42. What was scheduled was a discovery hearing. And then her to discover your ability to pay on the debt. You're here, she's here, you're under oath. I don't find that you're in contempt for failing to appear for that subpoena. The officer just subpoenaed your store. And then I don't know what they did with it, in a desk drawer or something, but they didn't give it to you and nobody showed up. So I'll take you at face value that you didn't know about that hearing. Then I did this, that you specifically had to be here so we could all be in the same place at the same time. But in order for her to do that hearing, she paid an additional $88 to have a South Bend, St. Joe County, Indiana deputy serve you. So that's where we are. It's difficult to execute on an Idaho state judgment. If this were in Michigan, she could seize your assets. She could come with a court order with a deputy and take money out of your till, I suppose. I don't think that's ever been done, but seize tools, trucks, that sort of thing to auction to pay the debt. This has been, you've been here 6 times. I don't know. You've both been here repeatedly. I've spent, I don't know, 20 hours on this case regarding this furniture.
This is the first time I've ever been here physically.
Okay.
I was at, before it was Zoom.
All right. Well, that's why I wanted to get everybody here. So the question is, are you willing to pay $1,824?
Again, Your Honor, she keeps the furniture. I pay her back for the furniture.
Yes.
And she's able to keep it. And
Yes. I don't enjoy it. You didn't show up for the hearing. I took testimony. A default entered. She's still unhappy. She wants more than this. So I can't be any more clear. We had a hearing to set aside the default and I denied it. Yes, she gets the furniture and the money. So how does it, whether it's fair or not, that's how this came, because you didn't show up. So if you're not going to pay her the money, she can get an order to seize your property and fight it out that way. But,
may I ask another question? Your
yes,
Honor?
sir.
And talking to my local attorney, he thought the jurisdiction would be in St. Joe County.
Jurisdictions at both ends.
Where you buy it? Because we have no stores in.
Yes, where she is and where you are. And it's a small claims case. The furniture was delivered to her in St. Joe County, Michigan.
Or picked up. I believe it was picked up.
A repair was sent to my house.
The furniture was initially picked up in St. Joe County and at the store at the St. Joe County. I'm not an attorney. I don't understand.
I
a lot of the
understand,
things, you know.
but yes.
And our representative from Fort Wayne said he could not represent us in Michigan.
Well, and you can't have an attorney in small claims
that's
court.
right.
You can remove it to the general division of the court where she would have had a harder time presenting it following the rules of procedure. All I want to know is, are you going to pay her the money or not? If you're not, then I encourage you to then get an order to seize property. You've got so much bad publicity about this, and it should really have just been resolved a long time ago. She's very diligent.
Your Honor, I thought it was resolved, so I apologize for that. And as far as paying, yeah, if you tell me where to send it, I will get it sent out.
All right, very good. Plaintiff will pay within 21 days. Her address is on the complaint and on the judgment. We'll give you a copy of that.
So I sent it to that address.
You sent it to her, not to the court. I understand that you feel this was unfair. She also feels it's unfair. So maybe there's enough unfair to go around. I didn't like her getting the furniture and the money. It seemed unfair to me too. But I issued that order, and I'm not gonna say it for the 5th time. You didn't show up. So I'll have the bailiff take you out to the court office. The clerks will make sure we have the right address, and you should send 1,824.42. All right, this was a very unpleasant experience for both of you, and for that, I'm sorry, but I'd like this matter to be concluded. All right, 1,824.42 within 21 days.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. All right, thank you for coming all the way.
That's the
You're going to jail right now.
I have,
You can go for 90 days if you'd like. You're going to
No,
jail
Your
right
Honor.
now. I don't want to argue about it.
I would
There's a
also,
consequence. Next matter we're going to address is People versus Tanya Marie Moeller. Ms. Moeller was charged with a larceny in this file, which is 23878 SM. Let me click into this one. She was placed on probation, and her probation agent is Autumn Kiefer. She was charged with stealing a wallet containing $180 of cash that belonged to a Richard Roll. And she pled to that charge. We had some victim input, and the defendant was placed on a probation. Ms. Kiefer filed a probation violation petition alleging that she fell off a map, essentially, that she failed to report on a monthly basis. That petition was last June. The defendant did not appear for that hearing, and a bench warrant issued for her arrest. She got picked up a few weeks ago. She'd been in, I don't know where she was, but she was here. She'd been in jail in Calhoun County. She bonded out and then came here for her arraignment. She pled not guilty and asked to set the matter for a hearing. She's here with her original attorney, Jordan Harden.
Your Honor, I was not the attorney in the underlying case.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I was not on a contract at that time.
Oh, well, all right. You're counsel now. I don't know who was your original attorney. Do you remember who your original
I
was?
didn't have one here.
All right. Okay. Well, Ms. Harden, what does your client wish to do?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did have a phone conference with my client a couple weeks ago, as she does live quite a distance away from Centerville and Mendon area. Discussing the allegation, the petition, she is willing to make an admission today.
All right, let me put Ms. Strong in the break dancing room, and then we'll. Ms. Harden, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. The indication or the intention of my client today is that she's going to make an admission to the allegations in the petition, which was violation of Article 3, failing to report.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the status report. Her last report was April of 2024, and then we just lost track of her. So Ms. Moeller, would you acknowledge you failed to report since April of 24 until you got picked up in Battle Creek in August of 25?
I do, Your Honor.
What happened?
I ended up moving to Bay City, Michigan to attempt to take care of my mother and my stepdad. And just with the multitasking, it just wasn't a priority when it should have been.
When you got arrested in Calhoun County, did you get charged with anything there, or they just arrested you on our warrant?
On the warrant.
How'd you happen to be in Battle Creek?
Well, I was coming down to deal with my daughter and actually come here and deal with some things, trying to get things squared away in St. Joe County so that I don't have to do the 3-hour drive.
Well, I put you on probation because I felt there was a drug issue here, and I also wanted to have enough time to get restitution paid to the man whose wallet you took. But I wasn't very successful at that. Ms. Kiefer, what's your recommendation here?
Well, initially she has 20 days of deferred time. This type of violation doesn't warrant 20 days. She served 4 days in Calhoun County that I verified. She unfortunately hasn't paid any fines and costs at all in this case. So my recommendation is for the 4 days of time served for her to pay the $325, which removes the oversight fees of probation and revoke from the probation.
Ms. Harden, having that in mind, what would you like to say to that?
Your Honor, we were going to ask for the court to consider her circumstances. I was not aware of the time she'd done in Calhoun County, so the new recommendation for time served and just pay the remainder of that restitution and court costs, we would ask the court to adopt that recommendation from Ms. Kiefer.
Ms. Canfield, do you have an opinion regarding this?
I do, Your Honor. I struggle with these types because it doesn't appear that there's a new offense or any criminal conduct, at least that we're aware of, that would have brought her before Calhoun County or this court again. However, if she was moving to Bay City, that's something that she should have kept Ms. Kiefer aware of. Probation could have potentially been transferred there if this court was willing to do so and they accepted, or perhaps even a phone report could have been arranged, but she didn't make effort to even comply in that regard. So here I understood she did 4 days and there's no new offenses, but when you just abscond and have to be picked up in order to come deal with things, I think that perhaps maybe a little bit more than the 4 days served is warranted for just snubbing her nose at this court. And frankly, Ms. Kiefer, who through her report made every attempt to help her report on several occasions and had to reach out to her. She failed to report in March of last year. She reported in April and not thereafter. So, I mean, she was giving her the benefit of the doubt and she didn't give the same respect back to this court or Ms. Kiefer.
Yes. Let me bring Ms. Strongest back. To back all the way up, this crime offended my sensibilities. This handicapped man left his wallet in a cart at Myers. You took it. You lied about it. You minimized it and took his money. Mr. Roll left his wallet in one of the motorized carts. He was with his healthcare worker. He had $180 plus all his ID, which by the way has never been recovered. That's a huge pain to lose your driver's license, your credit cards, your social security information, your insurance. So they watched the footage and they saw you take his wallet. First you said you didn't take the wallet, then you said you did take the wallet and you gave it to a Walmart employee in the parking lot, which you didn't. You took his wallet and left and kept his money and all his identification. I thought you got a huge gift when I put you on this probation. I wanted to get the guy's money repaid. You repaid us by doing zero. And then interesting, when it comes time to get out of jail, you come up with money to post a surety bond. You can't pay 1 cent to us or to this man's restitution, but when it comes the difference of you sitting in jail and getting out, you come up with enough cash money to post a surety bond. So you deserve more than 4 days in jail. You deserve what I ordered in the first place. As I said, this offended me right from the get-go. My judgment was 6-month probation, 21 days minus 1, hanging 20 days over your head. You were supposed to pay restitution and court costs and other expenses, of which you paid none. I also barred you from Walmart for a year. So having said all that, what would you like to say to me?
First, I apologize to the courts and probation for having life problems. As of September 9th or September 10th, I am now working. If my check deposited on Wednesday mornings, $200 would have already been paid, but it doesn't until after midnight. So I can't pay anything until tomorrow.
All right, fair enough. Can you get his driver's license and social security
My-
card and his? Yeah, you threw somebody else under the bus. This
My
was a-
son threw all that away, or I don't know what was happened to it after it got in his hands.
Yes,
But I pled guilty because I am the one that took it out of the court. The cart there at Walmart.
well, yeah, you did.
Well, my son's also 39 years old at the time.
Yeah, you've got very little responsibility for this. The more you say, the more I want to give you the balance of 21 days in jail.
I would appreciate not, Your Honor. I have a
Yes.
mother and stepdad that I need to provide care for.
Yes, I'm gonna order. You spent 1 + 4, 10 days in jail, credit 5, leaving 5 days to serve. I'm waiving all your fines and costs except a $200 restitution. You're going to jail right now.
I have,
You can go for 90 days if you'd like. You're going to
No,
jail
Your
right
Honor.
now. I don't want to argue about it.
I would
There's a
also,
consequence.
nope, I would just like to make a statement.
I don't want to hear it. Thank you. You can go with the officer.
Your Honor. There goes my child.
There is a consequence
Yeah,
to our actions, and one just landed on you.
I agree to that. Can you grab my belongings?
Judge,
Yes?
Is this to hire up to the Supreme Court of the breaking of the constitutional rights of freedom of speech and the freedom of my name of protecting and sabotaging?
This is file 241568 SD. You got pulled over on August 21st of 2024 at about 11 o'clock at night. M60 and Hass Road outside of Mendon. You were charged with operating while intoxicated and failing to stop in an assured clear distance. Your blood alcohol was 0.15. Plea offer was related to impaired driving. You pled to impaired driving and the matter was set for sentencing. You were given what we call a timeout probation. You got 12 months probation, which could have been completed in 6 months. 2 days jail, credit 2 days. Ordered you to do the victim impact panel, no drugs, no alcohol, and substance abuse treatment if indicated. Daniel Frazine was appointed to handle this matter. He's filed a probation violation petition alleging that you violated your probation. You have a new drinking driving charge from June of 2025 in Three Rivers. And that in part is the basis for this violation. Mr. Frazine's report shows that we had some struggles getting our testing done and our treatment done. And then you got this new arrest. As I mentioned earlier, it's always an issue regarding a admission and a probation violation when the other case is pending. Mr. George, you represent him on the new case as well?
I don't know that, I checked the court's website today. I don't know that it's been authorized yet, has it?
Yes.
Has it? Has he been arraigned on that yet?
What was the date of the offense in that one, Daniel? Do you know?
I have 6/18.
So I thought he got a no proof insurance on April. All right. All right. So let's further discuss this, Mr. Cohen. Daniel, his recommendation to the court was, I revoke your probation and impose 4 days of jail. We haven't been doing very well regarding this probation. And then if we need to do something, and if you do get convicted in the new case, we'll deal with that. I don't even know if it would even be a sobriety court case or what. Mr. George, what does your client wish to do?
I've gone over the petition with my client, and at this point, he wants to have a hearing on the petition.
The new charge contains a couple of bond violation conditions. One, not violate any law of any unit of government. Two, don't drink any alcohol. According to the information that Daniel had, you got arrested on June 18th doing donuts in your vehicle. You had a 0.167 blood alcohol level. So that violates, don't violate any law of any unit of government, and don't drink any alcohol. The problem is that case is still pending. And you did come in later and advise Daniel of the arrest. He tried to get you set up for testing at the day reporting center. And then I'm still hoping someone is trying to find that new citation on Ashton Kuhn. I hope it hasn't been in our system since August. I will be greatly embarrassed.
Want me to run over and see if
I think hopefully they're working on it.
Your Honor, looking at the misdemeanor complaint and warrant packet prepared by my office, it was charged as an operating while intoxicated second offense.
I just found the complaint, it was just brought to me today by the officer, so I'll get it in the system.
Okay.
And an open container. In a
So we didn't have it till August. We just got it today.
As Article 8 and 10 are failing to abstain from, your allegation is that he failed to abstain from the use of alcohol and drugs or submit to a test. What evidence do you have that he violated those?
Well, the police report for the new charge is admission to me, and I did attempt to put him on a 1 time a week testing at the day reporting center. However, on August 15th, he went in to meet with them to do their intake with them and sign the appropriate paperwork. He told him he would not sign it without his attorney present and never returned and never called me.
So you wanted the defendant on weekly testing, but he failed to comply with initiating that service?
That is correct.
In Article 9, does that say that you are to participate in treatment as recommended?
Yes, he was to get a substance abuse assessment, and to my knowledge, he hasn't had that. And he basically, most of our conversations was he didn't think he needed any help and he didn't want to participate.
Are you gonna arraign him on it? Okay.
All right. So I'm sorry, you wanted him to do a substance abuse assessment and any recommended treatment. He told you he didn't need it and wasn't going to undergo it.
Yes, I knew there was obviously a possible alcohol issue here, but I also wanted him to get that even more so for some suspected mental health issues that I thought were underlying issues as well.
Thank you. As a defendant, I know it's not within here about whether he was reporting regularly, but did he keep the communication?
He was reporting regularly up until he got the drunk driving, and really he could get easily angered when I approached him trying to help him with getting into services and stuff. He said other people had tried to suggest he get services, he didn't want any help, he didn't need help, he didn't like meds. But he had called and reported. I just was having a hard time getting him into that treatment, which was the next big pivotal for me with him. And then once he got the drunk driving, we had that very frank conversation how sobriety court might be his only avenue for a license for the next 3 to 5 years, and going over what that might entail. He got very upset, in my opinion, was because it was going to be a very laid out, structured, treatment oriented program. And that's what I think happened. And that's why I believe he walked out of our conversation and left.
If I may ask you, Mr. Faison, in addition to the defendant's statements and admissions to drinking and driving, did you have any other evidence regarding that particular alleged violation?
Of the drinking?
Correct.
Other than the police report and his admission to me about that, drinking on that offense, no.
Did you reach out then to the law enforcement agency that arrested him?
I got the police report. I believe that the officer called me on this, but I don't have my notes in front of me, so I can't say definitively, but I did get the police report and review that. And I had several conversations with your officers along the way. They told me that it was the department that was holding up the charging. That's why it took so long, but what that was and why I did not know.
All right. And with respect to the blood alcohol of 0.167, did you obtain that out of the police report?
That is correct.
Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. George, you have any questions? for
I
Mr.
do.
Fraser?
Dan, when was Ashton placed on probation? So you, at least at the beginning of the probation, your testimony is that you believe that he did have an ability.
I do.
Okay. And I note on your report that you indicate that he had missed a substance abuse assessment and Prime for Life. Is that right?
For the Prime for Life, I got in, I think, the end of August. I did get a cert for that finally.
Okay. Was that from Mr. Kuhn or was that from Pivotal?
I believe that was from Mark Olson from Pivotal.
Okay. So has there been a release?
He may have sent me a copy as well. Sometimes they both send it to me, but I can't remember.
Okay. So has there been a release that's been signed to get information from Pivotal, or was that just provided to you?
That was just emailed me, the completion certificate.
Was the Prime for Life something that was specifically ordered as part of the judgment of sentence?
I don't have that on me. It is a very standard order, but I don't have that. I don't have a copy of the judgment in front of me, so I don't know for sure, but we are allowed to add that if we see needed to.
Okay. And the reason I ask is, was that something that was ordered as the judgment, or was that something that was recommended after a substance abuse assessment?
It definitely wasn't after the substance abuse assessment because I went through, there is no substance abuse assessment on file or in the notes.
Okay. So on file means that you have access to the Pivotal resources that.
And I would have either spoken to a therapist or they would have emailed me the copy of this.
So you've been able to confirm through Pivotal that he has not completed a substance abuse assessment?
As much as I can. Sometimes they will tell me if there's no RI, they will say I can't confirm or deny at this time, and I don't remember what the conversation was, but I don't have one. And I do have notes that I spoke to him and reminded him several times throughout the probation that I need that.
Okay. Do you know that if he's engaged in any type of mental health treatment at this point?
At this point, I'm unaware of.
Okay. Is it the probationer's responsibility to pay for a test when they go in to test?
Unless they're working with Pivotal. And that's why I explain that and suggest heavily that they can make it work with Pivotal because they have grant money. And up until 3 weeks ago, they had enough money to pay for most of it. But last month in September is they quite often run out of money and they have to pay for it for that month. And then they get renewed in October. So
was Mr. Kuhn ever not able to test? From your knowledge, was he ever not able to test because he couldn't pay for the test?
I do believe that there are a couple of issues in the early on that said that he had no money to test. And again, on 3/5/25, defendant was reminded about getting into service for Pivotal. He also said he had no money to test. So hence I would have said, well, let's get around that. Here's how we can get around that.
Okay. Do you know how much it would be to test if somebody wasn't engaged at that time?
Back at that time, I can't remember if it was 35 or 40, but it's now 46. I've had a couple increases in last.
And do you know what the documentation is that DRC wants an individual to sign that Mr. Kuhn had an issue with?
No, but I know it's a similar sort of intake process like we would do.
Okay.
Just saying it, this is how it works. We will call you. You will, we'll call you. If we don't get hold of you, we'll leave a message up to call us back and you have to test that day and you'll be responsible for fines if it's not covered.
And that happened in August of this year that you wanted to get them into.
Well, I've been trying for a little while, but when he actually showed up, my email from DRC is dated 8/15.
Of this year?
Of this year.
Okay. And on your report, it ends with June 26th. Is that right? Is the last kind of entry on the report, on the status report that you have provided as part of the violation?
Yes. I did have a conversation, I think 7/9 and 7/24. I had a call, but I was out of the office.
Okay.
So I really didn't speak with him then, but so 7/9 would have been the last conversation I would have had with him.
So as Ms. Canfield has said, he has generally reported as
up
directed,
until
is that right?
This offense, yes. Things went south after that.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. It turns out one of the fastest growing segments of
Things went south in June?
Yeah, after our conversation on June 24th.
Okay. But then he reached out to you a couple times in July, but you weren't there. Is that right?
One time I was and the other time I was not.
Okay. And then was there contact? I know you had the contact in August as it related to the documents at DRC. Is that right?
Yes, and there was a couple times I tried to call and leave messages or his phone was shut off or his phone was shut off.
Did his number change at some point?
I can only go by what they give me, so I don't know if it changed or if it's a lot of times people, it'll not go through because they haven't paid their minutes.
Okay. I don't have anything additional. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Kuhn, you wanted to have a hearing on this. I'm not exactly clear why, but you're under oath. Mr. George, does your client wish to speak to me?
Based on Article 1 and the allegations in there, I would advise my client not to testify at this hearing.
All right. You have a right to speak. You also have a right not to speak, but anything you say could implicate you in your pending case. So with that in mind, do you wish to remain silent on this subject?
No.
You wish to tell me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Against your lawyer's advice, do you wish to tell me what you want me to know?
Yes.
All right. What do you want me to know?
Speech here. No disrespect to Dan or anybody in this courtroom. I did everything that you have asked me the last time I came in this room. The only thing at Pride that I had not done was the payment. I told you I was homeless and stressed out. I am under emotional stress with money and financial help. I do not have a home, been on the streets for a year. That's not the point, but forgive me for my wording, it's not correct. Like being accurate and precise. I have the strength to say this because I'm honoring me and my family's name and God's name. The last time we had this courtroom, and Dan actually pulled me aside. He said before this, he said, I need you to come to the basement with me. Next thing you know, I'm all soft and going out and ready for Mr. Tim and getting my paperwork from Mr. Tim. Next thing you know, I see Mr. Dan talking to my grandfather, and it looked pretty sketchy. I walked in back prior into the room where there's a TV and a camera where I'm not advised if it's on or not. But this man sabotaged my name, disrespected me, said I'm never going to be successful, never going to be this, never be that. I don't have precise wording to remember because I try not to because it stresses me out. And
what is this at the time of your original plea or more recently when you came?
That was the last court case we've had together.
All right, when I did your arraignment.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And just to get off my chest, he pulled me on the other side, kind of stood over me, kind of got a little bit of his when he's talking to me, and I stood there and stood firm, and I'm trying to let it go right now because it's not irritating, but why I'm thinking about it is because this man was saying, "Oh, you could get mad, you could get mad," and it frustrates me. I'm emotional. I'm stressed out. I looked up to this man. I'm not gonna lie. I looked up to this man. I talked to this man for 5 hours about God. The very first time I've ever talked to this man. I talk to him every time. He's always on vacation. Always say, "How you doing?" And I took it to a personal offense. When the last time I talked to him, I looked into him. He was like, "Who are you? What's your name?" And I took it personal, I took it personal, saying, "I thought you knew me, Mr. Dan." And he said, I don't know you." And he kind of looked at me like scum.
Well, he didn't know this version. None of this rises to a defense. Let's back up. You rear-ended a guy on M60 when you were
12
drunk.
months prior, 1 year.
Very near to where more than one fatal accident, very near where you hit this guy. There was another fatal accident within maybe a half a mile of there.
Yes, sir.
Stop. So that's serious stuff. You almost killed somebody and yourself. And there was uncertainty about whether you were trying to kill yourself. Your girlfriend and her mother had a concern that what you were doing was trying to commit suicide. We had a young girl this week. She wanted to commit suicide. She pulled out in front of a semi and seriously injured the semi driver. So he's physically debilitated, but she didn't die. So she's charged with reckless driving causing a serious injury, which is a 5-year felony. So let's assume you were just drunk and not trying to kill yourself, that you passed out or fell asleep and you rear-ended this guy. That merits court supervision. Dan and I had several discussions about you. You are young. You are a man of faith. You were repentant about what happened, and we were going to try to do this probation. I think Dan was frustrated with you. And then this stuff happens. You're driving like a fool in the parking lot of the Old Three Rivers Hospital, drunk, doing donuts. You think no one's going to notice that? You're 0.18. I'm embarrassed that it took from June 11th, June 17th to now. You went to jail. This is an old Dave Marvin holdover. They wanted a complaint You went to jail, you sobered up, they let you go, and you didn't get an arraignment date. So sometime later, the officer submits it to the prosecutor's office. There's no blood test, they're not waiting for anything. You took a breath test that night. If this had been an OUL first offense, it would have just been dealt with. Anyway, I don't like this process. Ms. Davis inherited it. This isn't the way I did it. At any rate, so you get out. A week later, you did tell Dan. At some point, it gets into the prosecutor's office, and they authorize it on August 26th. So it sits there for a while until the officer came and swore to it today. So we just got the complaint today. So I'm going to arraign you on your new charge here in a minute. But so Daniel discussed with you sobriety court. And he told you the cold hard fact that if you get 2 convictions of drunk driving, your driver's privileges are going to be revoked, meaning no driving for at least 5 years until you get the Secretary of State to reinstate your license. The only way to get your license back is to go through a sobriety court program. I don't think you're ready for a sobriety court program. I think there's some underlying mental health and depression issues. And maybe I'd be depressed too if I was homeless, didn't have where to go, and had relationship problems and no job. But the answer to that problem isn't getting drunk and doing donuts in the parking lot of the old hospital. So right now we're just dealing with a probation violation issue. And then in a minute, I will arraign you on the new case. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
So prior with everything that you said that I have not done, because you have not known, I have done everything that was asked before I came into court and before then prior. Though I do not know the officer's name directly, but I have been here in the courthouse, done the first thing that was set up to go, serve my 3 days in jail.
Yes.
And then I have done beyond the point, not for the satisfaction of the systematic government, but for God and family and friends, I have stood tall, and I'm a sober man. I'm a clean man. I'm an honorable man. I've been through trials and struggles. That's none of the business. It's the truth of my testimony. I'm very clean. I'm just emotional distress only on financial stress, where I am homeless, and I'm here to try to take care of my dog.
Well, your grandpa brings you here, and I always appreciate that. Who lives on Hutchinson Road?
So my mother and my father. My dog's in the back seat of my truck that we live in right now, with water and clean. I do not live with my family as a normal man and a humble man. I don't want to be around family because I'm stressed out and don't want to lean on somebody that I can't lean on, because may someone not know the strength of it. So I rather keep to myself humble.
What's your status with the girlfriend?
Status with girlfriend, unknown.
Are you not with her now?
I cannot say for that for right now, for that's personal relationships that I'm working on with God.
All right. When did you last work at the Jones farm?
Joe's farm. I have worked there. Great company. I've worked there for a summer. I'm not very known of months. I don't keep track of this. No, I don't care for it. I worked there, and after that, I was out on the streets. I lived in my suburban.
All right, but this was summer we just had. When did you last work somewhere for pay?
Bayer. Actually, the hat that I have is on the seat back there. I've worked for Bayer. I filed into unemployment.
What is Bayer?
Bayer is that place we talked about last time, that big facility on the right side. It's a world company.
Oh, Bayer.
Yes, sir.
All right, and what did you do there?
What I did there was test plants.
All right, and when did you last work there?
I know, like I said, I do not keep track of dates, but I don't believe in that.
This is now October. We just went through September. Did you work anywhere in the month of September?
I can't recall because I don't remember dates, because I just don't believe in it.
How'd you like it if they put you in jail and they forgot what day it was, and you got 4 days and 84 days later they let you out? I didn't think those questions were that hard, but you're living in your truck. Where do you get money?
Where I get money? Yeah. Family, as much as they can. I ask for the bare minimum. I do not have the confidence to ask somebody for money, but that's That's not my place.
Well, the fact that you don't have a job and the fact that you don't have any money are related.
Sadly, most people on a van.
If you had a job, you'd have some money. But, all right, I find that the defendant has, by a preponderance, violated the terms of his probation. He acknowledged that he drank and drove and got arrested. And that was the number one condition of the probation. That's not a corpus delicti issue because Mr. Friesen has independent evidence that the defendant drove from the police. I don't know what you were doing, and I don't want to talk about that case yet. But you're struggling all right, and part of your struggle is a mental health struggle. And I sure would like to get some addressing of that. I find that the defendant failed to pay any fines and costs. However, he doesn't have any money, but he didn't pay any money. He failed to abstain from the use of drugs and alcohol, which is a violation by his own admission. He failed to participate in treatment, although he tried to do some of the things we ask him to do. So I'm going to revoke this probation, Mr. Kuhn. Where is your dog right now?
In my truck.
Can somebody take care of your dog?
No.
I'm not lock your dog in the truck for 4 days. You're going to jail for 4 days.
Grandfather, can you take him? Take her?
I mean,
Call mother. You better take care of Raven.
I was supposed to be leaving yesterday.
Well, just call mother, man. That's my dog.
All right, we'll make sure your dog is cared for.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
By any means, there's just a higher up to the Supreme Court of the breaking of the constitutional rights of freedom of speech and the freedom of my name of protecting and sabotaging. And as the foremost, that is everything recorded through everything that's there. It's justified in my actions and my honor and the way I speak. I'm not irritable nor I'm angry. I'm disappointed and stressed out, emotional, financially insecure. I'm protected by the constitutional rights, and I was sabotaging my name. I'm sabotaging my emotional distress, which is a lawsuit, and it's forbidden in the Constitution and in the court system.
Well, I agree with you, Mr. Kuhn.
Yes,
you are
sir.
sabotaging your name and sabotaging your name, your reputation.
Negative. Forgive me, Your Honor. I have freedom of speech that I can stand in the honor of God, for God is above all, which is a freedom of my religion, which I'm stood by and protected by the Constitution of my rights. This is a breaking of the constitutional rights back and forth.
I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I think we've got some significant mental health issues here. I'm going to order, the probation is revoked. I'm going to waive your fines and costs. Daniel's recommendation was 4 days jail, and I think it's appropriate. You crashed into some guy and nearly killed him. You did a poor job on your probation. You got arrested for very foolish behavior in June. I do regret it took from June to October to get the thing to arraign you, but we're going to address that in a minute. I'm going to get you a lawyer on that.
Your Honor,
yes,
we haven't run this before, but his grandfather said the dog doesn't like him. I'm guessing he's afraid of it and or poses a risk to him, so he doesn't want to help with that, and which I understand.
What kind of dog?
We might have to get the pound or the.
All right, or either I have to let him turn himself in.
I was thinking maybe we just get the keys so they don't have to like break the window to get the dog.
My keys are unlocked, and you can call PD.
What kind of dog is it?
She's a black lab German shepherd, the sweetest girl. She only barks, but she don't bite.
Well,
you can call PD, Three Rivers. They'll take care of her, please, for the love of God, because they're the greatest.
Well, I'm not gonna leave your dog locked in the car outside.
Just one.
For 4 days. Well, let's set this aside for a minute. I'm going to arraign you on your new arrest. You got arrested in Three Rivers on June 17th for operating while intoxicated in the parking lot of the old Three Rivers Hospital. It's alleged that that is a second or subsequent offense because you have this conviction in file 241568. making that a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. And it requires that your license be revoked. Mr. George is here to make sure we're complying with your rights, but he's not your attorney in this case. I'll show that you plead not guilty. I'm going to appoint an attorney. I'm gonna set an attorney pretrial for November 7th, 2025 at 8:30. You've already been arrested. I'm gonna set a $500 PR bond. So that's the new case, and I apologize that it took so long to get from there to here. But the good news is you didn't get arrested out on the street. You happened to be here for court, and I took care of the arraignment. So let's go back to the other case. I have found that you violated your probation. And as of this minute, you're still on the probation. I'm going to order 4 days jail. We're going to have to schedule it. I don't want your dog to be left out here alone. You're going to have to make arrangements to board your dog.
If you can't balance on one
I'm going to start the jail at 7 o'clock on Friday night. I'm not doing very well by you. What I intended to do was put you in jail right now, call our mental health liaison to meet with you and see what's going on. But I'm going to have another crack at you in the context of the new case. Your probation is continued until further notice of the court, because I want no alcohol conditions, and I'm not making them part of the bond. I'm making it part of this. Probation is continued. You're sentenced to 4 days, credit 0, leaving 4 days to be scheduled as a weekend, starting at 7 p.m. this Friday night, which would be October 3rd. Can you find someplace to board your dog by Friday night?
Yes, sir.
7 p.m. As I said earlier, sometimes there's no good answer to a problem. Mr. Kuhn, this is not meant to be an insult or demeaning, but I think you need some mental health treatment. We tried to get some. You're very stressed. You're living in your truck. You're not working. The person primarily responsible for your well-being is you. This isn't somebody visited this on you. You're making very poor life choices. I think some of that has to do with the status of your mental health. So it isn't like somebody did this to you. You're doing it to yourself. You've estranged yourself from your family. You can't keep a job. That's not healthy behavior to be living in a truck with your dog. It's about to get real cold. Your dog deserves better than that. So I need to get in here and figure out what's going on. The other issue is whether you'll ever have a driver's license or not. I don't think in your current state you're ready to do sobriety court. Friday, October 3rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. Report for 4 days jail. Now, if you don't report, it violates your probation. I have to just give you the rest of the 93 days. As soon as we do this 4 days and get to the other thing, I'm going to revoke his probation. I'm not going to charge any additional money. I'm not even going to make you report. I just want you to have a no alcohol condition. And at some point, if I can get the opportunity, I'm going to order some mental health evaluation. If it weren't for your dog, you'd go right now. That's not your grandfather's obligation to care for your dog. And I don't want the dog to go to the dog jail, which we've done more than a few times. There was one guy who, I won't say his name, but he got arrested often And his dog was so comfortable, they just opened the door and the dog would go get in the patrol car. He'd go to jail and the dog would go to the pound, and then he'd get out of jail and go get his dog. I think the dog had more sense than he did, but I think he and the dog may have both passed. All right, you got it. You got to show up for jail at 7 o'clock Friday night. You got 4 days to do. You're still on probation. You got a new case where I've appointed a lawyer for you. You're going to need to go out and get the paperwork for that. The court date on that is November 7th. I'd like to get you to a better place than where you are right now. So I'm going to have the court officer take you out. Here's your notice to appear at the jail. Oh, I gave it to you. And arrange on the new case. That's the new case. This is the old case. Thank you. Daniel, stick around for a minute. All right, this goes with the old case. All right, I'm going to be seeing you on November 7th. We'll see how you're doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I broadcast every day at 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Or West. Yeah. Duh. If you like this content that I'm providing on the channel, please do me a big, huge favor and subscribe to this channel and help this channel grow. You all have a wonderful evening. Ta-ta and ciao, ciao. And I will see you guys tomorrow. You all have a wonderful evening now.